retaliation, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When these crime busters run, no victims left to pay. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall. In a world full of shadows, she fights the unseen. A guardian of the truth in this wicked dream. Every story told brings her back to life. Granny's on the case, cutting through the lies. She guards the broken hearted from the world that hides. With unwavering spirit, she wears no disguise. Searching for the lost pieces of a shattered life. Granny brings the dawn after a longest night. Oh.
Hello, everybody. Good to see everybody here. Hello, Ginger, Brenda Jo, Melissa. Hello. Hope everybody's having a good night so far, or good afternoon, I should say. I'm used to doing this at 6, so I say night, and now it's really late afternoon, right? So, yeah, I found a couple more videos on statement analysis that I thought we'd go over, but I wanted to talk about what we know so far as let's look at the red flags in the case that Jennifer Coppendaffer came up with, and then her possibilities, right? Because this was kind of all her in different videos, but she is so intelligent, and I believe she's on the right track for this case. Not to mention the fact that, she's an expert. She's an ex-FBI agent, guys. So, who better to look at a case with us and to believe than someone who has actually been out in the field investigating? Good timing. You just got up from a nap, huh? For those of you, I know Ginger did, but for those of you who watched my morning clip this morning, I apologize. For whatever reason, I must have been muted. You did get to see the video that I was playing, but oh gosh. And I went to go and redo it, but I wanted to check into it first, and the stupid video was doing really, really well. I was like, oh, I'll just leave it and apologize for it. Oh gosh, I don't think I've ever done that, but that's what happens when you you get too comfortable doing something, and I wasn't checking my videos before I was uploading them. Terrible. Brenda Jo just got up from a nap as well. Well, I didn't take a nap today. I just got done taking the garbage out. Tomorrow is garbage day, so Lacey and I were outside. All right, so we haven't looked at the red flags for a while, right? I thought we'd look at them and then kind of look at the possibilities again before we go into some statement analysis in this case. Now, I know that the focus out on the YouTube streets has been the photo, that kind of thing. Trying to think what else I watched today. Yeah, I watched another one, another video, but it was just going over an old interview that Chris and Katie had done. But anyway, back to the red flags. So Jennifer said that the way that Sebastian ate at Texas Roadhouse, and the fact that he was very thin for his height and his age, right? Which he was very thin. I'm not going to say though, because I have seen sometimes, I have seen where boys have just shot right up, and their their eating habits didn't have a chance to catch up with their quick growth spurt, right? Because boys do seem to do that, don't they? I haven't had any boys, but I have seen it. And sometimes boys just shoot right up, right? How much snow, Granny? Just a dusting. Nothing really, Brenda Jo. So I have seen where boys have just shot up and, they got to kind of catch up with their eating in order to get their weight where it needs to be. So I've seen that happen. They did mention this, right? Because Seth said that he outgrew his shoes pretty quickly, and Katie had asked him to go get him some. She had just bought him a new pair of tennis shoes, and he needed to buy him a new pair of boots. And so he just did, he said, right? So that kind of goes along with that. But I do think he was eating pretty quickly. He was shoveling it in pretty good. Did that have anything to do with meds? What was all of a sudden he was off those meds? Because we looked. The medication that he was on causes appetite suppression. So then if he, for whatever reason, was off of his medication, that would explain why he was eating the way he was. But we don't know that. She just saw one where KP said Sebastian would get up at night and come in for snacks. Did he sleep outside? Well, we have heard, haven't we, that they made him sleep in the garage because of his wetting the bed or whatever. I mean, that's all conjecture, speculation. We don't know, right? And I did see where Katie had said that he would have like a piece of cake, but one wasn't enough, so he had to eat the whole cake. That he had just a, I don't know, a hunger for sweets, right? A sweet tooth. He had a sweet tooth. And so that he wanted to eat snacks all the time. I don't know. So as far as sleeping outside, we've heard that he was in the garage, so I don't know. But wouldn't they have heard him come in the man door? Because the garage is on their side of the house where their bedroom is. So I don't know. And then the second red flag was Katie's inconsistency, right? One of the examples of that was the thud. It started out where she heard him doing something in his room, then she heard a noise in his room, and then she heard a thud. And the first couple of videos, she didn't even talk about him doing anything in his room. She talked about him going to bed at 9 o'clock and then her going to bed at midnight. And she didn't even talk about the noise. So she said that that's a red flag. That's the things that they kind of watch for. You know, are their statements changing? Are all of a sudden, are they adding something that they didn't say before? Those are things to watch for, they said. The third red flag was Sebastian was not seen on any video surveillance. Okay. Not seen on any video surveillance. And that goes along with the number one possibility, doesn't it? That he walked out of the house like they said he did. If he had walked out of the house, he would have been seen on video surveillance. And I honestly believe he would have. Because there was a camera aimed right at their front door. And guys, there was a picture, and I'm going to show it. Let me find it here. That shows the house directly in back of them. Could see pretty much everything, guys. So let me share my screen. And this is going to shock you if you haven't seen it yet. And it is from none other than the Proudfoot's PI. This is the house directly in back of Sebastian's house. He's got the house blurred, he said, for privacy. So this is supposedly at 3:06:51 a.m. on February 26th. Okay. So that would have been the morning that Sebastian disappeared. Why 3:06:51? I do not know. You can see over here on the left side of the house, kind of dark. Here are some lights, and to me, that would be, if you look at how high those lights are, that this is the side where the garage is, right? If you're looking from the back of the house, this is the side from the garage. And Chris had stated that those lights stay on. But here's my other question. Looks like there's a car in the driveway. When you're looking at the height of this, a car with its lights on in the driveway. Am I missing something here, guys? Let me know if you think I'm wrong. But that's what that looks like to me. And I didn't notice it before, but I noticed it now. It's funny how you can look at something second time. And the other thing I noticed, and I think I talked to you guys about this before, they said the moon was almost full. Jennifer had said that. But I said, if there was a lot of cloud cover that night, it wouldn't have been that light. And there's clouds. You can't really tell if that's all cloud cover or just what because of the graininess of the video, but you can definitely see there was some clouds. But I'm wondering about this right here. What is Steve trying to tell us here? Of course, the the post that he was talking about was about the Nancy Grace video that has since been taken down, right? And he's cutting down Justin and coming after Seth, saying, why are you allowing this to happen about your son? Blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to read it, right? But he puts this up. To me, this is free game for us to look at, right? I do not know why. Okay, and I just want to say something here. This home is a retired police officer's home. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to dox him on here. It's a retired police officer's home. And I'm really concerned. I'm really kind of wondering, why would you have to blur something on the porch? Okay. But think about this. Okay, say if this wasn't blurred for privacy, if that's what SF wants to say. This police officer had a really good view of the back of their house. Lights going on and off or whatever. I mean, he had a really good view. Yes, there are some trees in the way, but overall, he had a really good view of the house. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I will show it to you now. I thought I was. All right. I know what it is. It's because I have this up. There we go. And I'm going to take myself down from there. So, see when I'm showing that, I can't see you guys. And so I came back over and then I saw that I missed. So now I can't see you again. Okay. Cause I'm back on this. Okay. So, this is the backyard. This is the fence. Okay. In the backyard of Sebastian's house. This is the back of Sebastian's house, blurred for privacy. This house on the left here is the police officer's house. I'm not going to say he's a retired police officer. I'm not going to say his name. And when you look at the height of this guy's garage or shed, whatever it is, I think it's some kind of shed because he has a ramp going up into it. So it's probably for lawnmowers or something. You can see that these lights here on the right-hand side of Sebastian's house look to be like the lights above the garage, because that coincides with the size of this. And Chris had stated that those lights stay on. Now, I don't know if those lights are just shining off this vehicle here or if those lights are on. As I'm looking at it, I'm wondering if they're shining off of it or if they're on. What do you guys think? Hello, Poppy Love. You have a wild child too, huh, K9? So, yes, and as I kind of said, I mean, you guys can go to X and see the investigator's post. I'm not going to read it. I'm not gonna go there. Um, yeah. Well, I thought in a video interview or something that Chris had stated that the lights over his garage, was it the Nancy Grace video? Stay on all the time. I could have sworn he said that. But I am wondering if those lights are just shining off of the vehicle on the right-hand side behind this police officer's shed, or if they're on. I think it might be shining off the car because there's 2 lights there. And my question is, why did SF take a still of 3:06:51 a.m. on that day? What happened before? What happened after? Didn't we hear that it was like 3:10 where those flashlights started moving around? Yes. This neighbor, well, I mean, if they were up, but I mean, if they look back at their video, yes, they would have seen Sebastian come out of the garage or the back door. You know, and depending, I mean, it's not like you can't see anything on the left side where it says house blurred for privacy. It's not like you can't make anything out. When you look at it bigger, I don't know if you guys, I have it as big as I can on here. It's full screen for me. But you might be able to see somebody walking over there. I don't know if you can see my thing moving, but you might be, this looks like a tree here, and you can see the house right there. So you might be able to make a shadow walking there off to the left, and that was the way that the flashlights were headed. And I realized that this camera doesn't cover, that part, but you might be able to see somebody walk up. Right? So I did find this picture interesting, to say the least, because of some of the things we're seeing. The cloud cover. I think that was really important as to how dark it was that night. Hello, Mischief. Good to see you. Welcome in. Especially if he had a little flashlight. Yeah. Or those 2 people with the flashlights, right? There was one coming from the house, right? So you would have seen that person on the left-hand side walking there. My opinion. But my question is, why did he show us at 3:06:51? Because didn't this investigator say that in video, because he had hundreds of hours of videos, right, guys? Remember, he said that. Yeah, we can see the fire pit that's in the satellite image. Yeah, it's right in the middle. Oh yeah, law enforcement has way more video than we do. But here's my thought. This investigator said he had hundreds of hours of video and that he did see somebody walking. He also said that he saw someone crouching and waiting. And he blamed that on a neighbor's son or something, which I think is all bogus, but whatever. But it's interesting how we're seeing more and more, right? And I honestly feel like there's a reason that he just showed us a still at this time. And I mean, we could go so far as to say, why did he blur the house? I mean, isn't this about Sebastian Rogers' case? That Sebastian Rogers' home that he blurred? Why did he blur it? Was there something going on that he didn't want us to see at this time? Was somebody back there in that backyard? Was somebody coming out from around the garage? The man door of the garage? That he didn't want us to see? I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that guy, but I don't trust him. Just my opinion, I don't trust him. Hello, Jackie. You don't trust him either. Yeah. Yeah. But, obviously he isn't lying about saying he's got video. I guess them going house to house and scaring neighbors and threatening them worked. I don't think he had to threaten this neighbor, though. I think this neighbor is part of the story, but I can't prove that. I don't know. So it's just my thoughts. Hello, Rosebud. Yes, this is the back of the Proudfoots' house. The house blurred for privacy is the back of the Proudfoots' house. Let me see if I can kind of show you what we're talking about here on the map. Just to give you kind of an idea of what we're looking at here. There it is. All right. Layers. I think the satellite picture showed it better, but, and don't worry, I know that I'm not showing you yet, but I will show you here in a minute. Okay. Can you see the map? All right. So here is Sebastian's house. Right here on the left. Okay, 1008. Over here, 1015 is where we're looking. Now that camera must be like right over here somewhere because it's showing right through here. Does that make sense, guys? Because here's that shed. Okay. There's a double fence. He's got a fence. They've got a fence. There's a walk-through in between. So that camera, I think it's on this guy's deck, okay? And it's pointing this direction. Does that make sense? I think he is creepy after I saw his photography website. Oh gosh. I'm not gonna put that up there, Ginger, but yeah. Ooh. So the light we see is in the back of their house. The garage is on the side. So if we're looking, I think we're looking right at the edge of their house here, the edge of the garage. 'Cause see, this is the vehicle. Let me get this out of the way. So if we're looking right here, this is the edge of their house, guys. It's straight through there. See that? It's straight through. So that if you look at that picture, it's straight through. You're seeing the garage lights. 'Cause here's the vehicle parked up to the gate. Go back here again. The vehicle parked up to the gate, and the garage lights are shining off of it is what I think that is. That's what it looks like to me. Oh, I appreciate that, Jackie. Yes, I want everyone to feel comfortable in here. No worries. I was thinking the same thing when I saw what Ginger put. No, I'm not gonna put it up on my screen. So, are the lights reflecting off the work truck? Yeah, it might be the work truck. I don't honestly know, right? Let's Yeah, I mean, it could be. At first, I thought the lights were on the vehicle, but there's 2 lights here, so I think the lights are just reflecting off the vehicle metal, right? It's hard to see because we can't see the whole vehicle. I guess it does look like there's white and it's down pretty far, so that would look like a work vehicle, right? I don't know. I don't mind showing this because things are pretty obvious, but I'm sorry, I'm not gonna show the stupid blob photo. I won't because this you can see what you're seeing, you know? There's nothing, you know, it's right out there. We know that it is the backyard of, the Proudfit's house. You see the fence, the tree, and let's look here. Is that tree gone now? Or maybe maybe this is a tree, but because we're so blurred in, we can't see it. Is that Yeah, I think these are trees, aren't they? But because I had it so blown up, you can't really tell that they are. Right? Hello, Nutter. Yeah, blurring the back of the house I don't get. Because look, they have a lot of trees at the back of their house. Right? So why did they blur the back of it? What's going on there that they're seeing? Hello, Truth to Light. So is the lit up part the back porch light? No, I don't believe it is. I believe it is what Chris said. They have lights over their garage that stay on all the time. And the reason that I'm saying that is because the camera's going this way. And if we go back to the picture, you can see where the vehicle is kind of pulled up to the back of the fence gate there. And it's somewhat in line with the neighbor's shed toward the back of their property. And the lights from the garage are shining off of that vehicle that's in their driveway. So we go back to that. Here it is. It looks closer than what it is, right? In the picture. But it's really quite a ways there. But you can see the vehicle, and this is where the garage lights would be. And the lights were shining off of the vehicle. So it wasn't the back porch light, because that back porch, I believe, is over here in the middle of the home. Because there's like a deck that comes out, or steps that come out or something here. So parked vehicle, lights above garage doors, shows light reflection, but it's front of the vehicle. The lights would not reflect on the front of the vehicle because the light is further back from where the car is parked. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, no problem, Truth to Light. Glad you're here. Just trying to show it as much as I could to make sure that everybody understands what we were looking at in the investigator's picture, right? It's kind of a different, actually it's coming from the right, so you gotta wonder, the house is over here on the left. Where was this camera? Was this a camera picture? Or was this a it says 3:06:51 a.m. on February 26th. I want to look back at that. Was it a dash cam in his driveway? I'm wondering. And the reason I'm asking that is because it seemed like it was way to the right of that porch, didn't it? Right? That porch is over here. Was there another part of the house that comes out here? It didn't look like it, did it? So is this a vehicle sitting there? That's It's like we find one thing and we wonder about another thing, right, guys? It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. Oh, Ginger. That's awesome. Let's see here. Congratulations, you're a member for 1 month, and Ginger has gifted 5 Granny memberships. So, guys, thank Ginger if you receive one of them. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, girl. um, and we have our little video for you. If I can find it. There it is.
Granny wants to thank you all for kindness in the chat. Super stickers, bright and grand, gifts of love we understand. Memberships you gifted here, spread the joy and banish fear. Every super thanks you send warms her heart and ends the end. Granny cheers with love so true for each special thing you do. Thank you from her heart. You all play a major part.
Thank you, thank you. Nutter, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And Lacey says thank you, Nutter. All right. It's cold. Hello, pitter patter. It's cold and snowing, huh? It's just been kind of yuck here all day. I'm not trying to be redundant, but it's very easy to change the date and time on a phone and a camera. You're right, Rosebud. You're right. I never thought about that. You know, people are more devious than we are, right? I would never think about doing that to prove a point. I wouldn't. Yeah, I think it's everywhere too, pitter patter. I really do. Hello, Lori. You don't think it's the correct time at all? Yeah, I didn't think about that. My question was I wondered why he posted at 3:06 because everything that we've heard, that flashlight video happened around 3:10 or right in that area of time. So I wondered why he posted at 3:06 and why did he blur the house for privacy? What was going on there? Why would he need to blur the house for privacy? Unless Chris said he had to, which I could see Chris saying. The only reason that I think it's the outside garage lights, is because of the height. The height, right? But, I mean, I could be wrong, I'm not saying, you know? Um, I don't think it's a back patio light because the patio is more toward the center. But, I mean, I could be wrong. what is the picture of? This picture, I will go to Google Maps. Here is the Proudfoot's house on the left where the red dot is, right? Here is the house to the back of their house, okay? This house is a retired police officer, who I believe the Proudfeet know. And there was, the private investigator for the Proudfoots shared this picture, and it's a picture showing coming right directly off to the side of the police officer's shed, looking to the Proudfoot's home, but they blurred out the back of the house. And my opinion is that Chris had stated that the lights to the garage are always on in one of his videos. So I'm saying that the lights to the garage were on and they were reflecting off of the vehicle that's sitting here in the driveway that's parked close up to the gate here. I could be wrong. People are excuse me. People are saying that the lights are coming from the back of the house. I think because of the height of the lights that they're in a garage, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I just know that they're reflecting off the vehicle. But other than that, I don't know. Oh, Cheryl, thank you so much. That's awesome. If you got the membership from Cheryl, please thank her. And Lacey thanks you, Cheryl. Right. Hence the blur of the back of the house, so we really can't get a full visual of where it's coming from and why. Why did they blur the back of the house? Makes no sense. if it, or just say this, if it's 3:00 in the morning and all the lights are off, what, other than the garage lights, why are you blurring the back of the house for privacy? Huh? What don't you want anybody to see? Remember, this was the end of February. Let's look at how many leaves are on the trees. And I was wondering about where's the camera set too, because if you look at this one, I believe that I don't, what, if we're looking at this house, is this the porch, guys? Or is that a vehicle? Because then it looks like that the camera is off to the right of that, right? Because it's coming just up alongside the shed there, if you go straight, right? So it makes no sense to me where the camera is at. It's hard to tell the leaves on the trees, guys. I can't really make them out. It does look like there's leaves on the trees. Is this snow on the ground? Because if it's snow on the ground, then it wasn't taken on the morning that Sebastian went missing because there was no snow on the ground. There is snow on the ground in Hendersonville right now, I believe. right? That's a camper van? Okay. And do you think then that the camper van, um so from the angle that we see it on this one, we can't really tell that porch, can we? Right? So this is a camper van, and I'm thinking that that must have a camera on it, right? The camera van must have a camera on it. Yeah, he's never gonna do that. He's never gonna do that. Hello, Teresa. Good to see you. Lori. Yeah, it's really confusing, isn't it? When we start to look at it, because is that snow, guys? Is that snow? Because if that's snow, it did not snow February 26, 2024. Hendersonville rarely gets snow. Okay, so night vision does make the grass look white at night. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't trust him anyway. So the time could be wrong. I could believe that, I guess. Look at the roof of the shed. Gotcha. Not snow. Okay. I know it didn't snow because it's my birthday too. Uh, yeah. Is it your birthday today or was your birthday on that day, Lori? I know. That's what I was thinking, Rose. But after you said that, I was like, you know, then it was this year, not last year, right? I mean, we're almost a year into this, guys. And if it was, that's interesting. But they say that night vision makes the grass look like snow. Oh, February 26th is your birthday. Well, it says the time of the video was 3:06:51 a.m. on February 26, 2024. Laura, you live in Hendersonville or nearabouts? You know, I used to live in Portland, so I know that, I mean, not unusual to get ice, but the snow that they've gotten this year, that's unusual, guys. That's why I brought that up. They don't always get snow. Could be frost. But actually, as you look underneath the the porch where the steps are underneath there, it looks the same. So there shouldn't be any snow underneath there. So that, I think Ginger's right, that's grass. Oh, gotcha. You were talking to someone that was there at the time? Okay. Yeah. And it's too hard to see the trees, guys, to see. It does look like there's leaves on there. I mean, it does kind of look like there's leaves on them, but it's really difficult to tell. And like that blob photo, I'm just not going to go there. I would never try to tell you something that, I mean, we can try to speculate and see what we think, but if it's too hard to see, it's too hard to see. There's nothing we can do about it, right? I will only look at things that are actual, and this is actual. You can tell what this is because I could find it on Google Maps, right? So I knew that what he said was correct in where this house is. Who who puts flowers hanging from the pot in winter? Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very true. But I will say this, okay? It was in the 50s and 60s during the day on the 25th. And that could be why Sebastian only had on short sleeves. He just posted this picture. So, 20 hours ago, 8/17, February 1st. Yep, 20 hours ago. So if you go to him on X, it was 20 hours ago, 8:17 p.m. on February 1st is when he posted it. So, I mean, I don't know. 31 at night, though. Yeah. Yeah, it got down there to almost freezing that night. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. And when you look at the picture from this far away, it does just look like grass, doesn't it? Partly cloudy. It's still hard to tell. Does look like some of the trees have leaves. This is in retaliation to the other video that was posted. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he was doing it in retaliation. But the reason that I showed it is because it does show the back of their house. And that I mean, where did we go here? Stafford Court. So right here. Okay. So this is their house, and this is the house where he took the picture from, right? So that part in itself is truth. Okay? Because we see the shed, we see the ramp, right? We see the vehicle. Everything is right. It's just that they blurred the back of the Proudfoot's house and their porch for whatever reason. I do not understand why. So, yes, he was showing it in retaliation. He was. But he also said, I wish I could find it. Wish I knew where it was. But at some other point, he had also said that because of the hundreds of hours of video he has, that he did see someone walking. Now, those of you who are here all the time know that I have not posted the blob picture. I call it the blob picture because that's what it is to me, is a blob. Do I think that that's what happened, that somebody carried Sebastian out? Yes, I do. But I don't think that the picture can show us anything. It is not, it's too grainy. You can't see anything. And honest to God, guys, if we know that law enforcement has all these videos and they have the actual video, the hard drive of the flashlight video, and that's supposedly where this blob photo came from, is from the flashlight video being enhanced, right? Now they have the original hard drive. Why hasn't, if they can see someone and they have better enhancing software and technology than any of us are going to have, why hasn't an arrest been made yet? I agree with you, Lori. All you have to do is put the address into Zillow and it comes in. You can see the whole inside and outside of the house. I don't know what this investigator was thinking, right? So absolutely no video of Sebastian leaving the house. None that can be proven, as far as I know, right? Yep, he's working hard to disprove the flashlights that Craddock himself say are real. Yes, he is. He is. He's working really hard. Really hard. Right. That picture needs more reference to where it was supposedly taken, more background. Exactly. I said that I would want to see the whole video with the blob, right? I would want to see the whole video with the blob moving or whatever enhanced before I could say, okay, this is, you know, there may be something to it, right? Now, why doesn't Zillow show inside the garage? I don't know. AMC, welcome, by the way. I don't really know. Good point. Tracy, welcome. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, he's always blurring things. He is. And yes, he's making it worse. But here's what I'll say about that blob. Now, I know that people are looking for things. They want to be the one that will break this case wide open. Don't we all, guys? I mean, and I honestly don't care who breaks it open. I hope somebody does. Sebastian needs to be brought home. We need closure for this family, right? we need closure for all of us so we can move on to something else, right? But Sebastian, he's just grabbed a hold of our hearts and he won't let go. I will not stop talking about Sebastian until he's home. I won't. Just not going to happen. Um, but here's the thing. No scent. He did not walk out of that house. So he had to have been carried out. Okay? I believe the flashlight video. I truly believe the flashlight video. And so if that whole video has somebody moving with those flashlights carrying Sebastian, I would believe that. But I'm not gonna believe a blob. I'm sorry. Do I believe in the conception of it? Do I believe in what they're representing? Yes. But I'm not gonna believe a blob. I can't. Because I believe in facts. People can manipulate things. People have done things for clicks and views out there, guys. And I don't even know who originally put this out there. I don't even care who originally put it out there. All I'm saying is that things like that have been done. And then somebody, runs with it. And all of a sudden, everybody believes it. Guys, how many times have we seen on, I think Facebook is notorious for this, seen something and it said, "What do you see here? How many faces do you see in this picture?" Or, "Do you see this?" And sometimes you may not see it right away. And then all of a sudden, "Oh, no, I can't stop seeing it." People tell you what they want you to see sometimes, and then you see it and you can't stop seeing it. Rosebud says, funny how he keeps going back to the flashlight video. Why just that? Why try to debunk just that? That's a good point. Why? Right? Why? Because there's something to the flashlight video? Or does he really just hate the mob crew that much? And in my opinion, the mob crew did a tremendous job. Chris from the mob crew did a tremendous job in that flashlight video. He was very careful about not manipulating the video. He did a really good job. Yeah. At first, I thought that light was coming from the garage window. Now that I see the reflection on the vehicle, it has to be the garage lights, which are very bright. Yeah. I think the same thing as well. I looked at the height and kind of compared it to the top of the shed and thinking about the fact that, it's that many feet away yet. That's kind of what I was looking at. Like he says, it's a trash truck. Yeah, and last time I checked, trash trucks don't move in the middle of a common area and grass. I mean, we don't usually put our trash in our backyard, right? Because if you look, I mean the way they're moving in the common area. They're by that, they're moving right by that gazebo. Yeah, that trash truck is not going to be in that gazebo. Not to mention that if it had been, there would have been ruts because it was very wet at that time. You did see someone moving in that video. Okay. Well, maybe I haven't seen the same video you have. I couldn't see that. In my opinion, wait for the facts to come out from law enforcement. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, guys. That's why here we'll look, we may speculate, but I won't show a blob and say this is him being carried out. No, I will not do that because I don't know that. Right? The light video is key. It is. The light video, the two things that I have said were key from the beginning of this um from the beginning of this is the lights and the thud. I think are really important. When you look at statement analysis, Katie told us about the thud for a reason, guys. I don't even think she realized what she was doing. So, when you look at statements and you try to be objective and, with no emotion thrown in there of what a thud could mean, right? The fact that the first couple of videos, she never even brought it up. Then she heard him doing something in his room and told him to knock it off. And then she heard a noise. And then it became a thud. That's one of the things that Jennifer Coffindaffer talks about, right? She talked about the red flags. Katie's inconsistency. Sebastian was not seen on any video surveillance. The $50,000 reward given by FBI means that it's being seen as criminal intent because they don't do it for any other reason. And that's quite substantial, guys. I have seen the FBI give less in cases. So the $50,000 reward by the FBI, that's pretty substantial in this case. Then the motive, bedwetting, abuse, the issues, 5 CPS reports. What is the motive? Another red flag was the stepfather having DV against others. The next red flag was them bringing up that Sebastian had been abused in California. The next red flag is that it's very unusual to leave. She has done many investigations, and she said that it's very unusual for parents to leave in the middle of an investigation. Very unusual. And then she said the last red flag was the discipline. The belt, taking toys away, throwing them in the garbage. Not taking toys away, but throwing them in the garbage. Right? Taking the pet away. Just a lot of red flags in this case. And so that if you look at the 3 possibilities, Sebastian walked out the door. Why do we not believe this? Because Granny's Crime Busters We looked it over. We don't believe it because there's no scent, because there's no video sighting of Sebastian anywhere to prove that he walked out the door. There's no footprints if he was barefoot. Number 2, Sebastian was abducted by someone other than family. We didn't believe this either. Why? Nothing really. There's no evidence to support that, right? Everything that the family said to us is that Sebastian didn't have friends. His internet was locked down. Does that mean he could have gotten a hold of the internet? He could have, guys, but the chances are it's probably pretty slim. And finally, he was either red-rummed in the home or taken by someone associated with the home. In other words, a familial abduction. And we leaned more toward this, right? We just didn't know exactly how, right? That's the thing that we still don't know exactly how. There's no sign of him anywhere. Look at what they did that whole first week, guys. They brought out everything in their resources. They brought out they brought out his favorite song. There were boots on the ground in the woods. There were officers on horseback. There were people on the waterways, on ATVs. They were everywhere, guys. There were drones in the air. There were helicopters using thermal imaging. Sebastian was nowhere to be found. Now, just a few months after this, they found a 4-year-old autistic boy in the woods, and they found him pretty quickly, within hours. And yes, I realize 4 and 15 there's a big difference in age there, but they did bring out everything, right? The blob video, I have to agree with you, but when I saw that short with movement, I was eager to see more. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm not saying that these are totally bogus. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're not visible. So if they're not visible, they're not going to hold up in a court of law, number one. I want to see the entire video. If they said that this was taken from the flashlight video, I want to see that entire flashlight video enhanced by top technology, top software, so that it's not manipulated, right? I want to see it enhanced so that we can see someone moving and can make them out better, make out the shapes and the outlines better, right? That's what I want to see, because I do believe that scenario, guys. I believe he was carried out of the home. I believe that with all my heart. I don't know if he was alive, though, but I'm trusting that he's still alive. Maybe he was medicated. Because remember this, guys, the cadaver dogs did not hit inside the house. So that third possibility where Sebastian was red-rummed in the home, probably pretty slim. Could the cadaver dogs have made a mistake? Yes. I'm sure they could. I don't know what the odds are on that, but I'm sure they could. Anything's possible, right? But I think it's slim. Yeah, CPS in the other states too. Yes, Seth did do an interview with Nancy Grace. Okay. He did an interview with him Tony, I think Lady Freedom, and Justin, Clutch and Pearls. They put the podcast up where it was just the audio. And they were supposed to show the video that night, the whole video of it. And there were those creators who, when they heard the podcast, went off the rails and started complaining to Nancy Grace. And all of a sudden, the podcast was deleted and the video was put on hold. I'm hearing different things. I don't honestly know what to believe, guys. So there you have it. If you want to hear a version of the podcast, I believe Dolly Vision has it. You can go to, I don't know if it's members only or not. I believe there was another creator that put it members only. So, and I'm not going to mention any other creators in here. Just not going to happen. That's their house. No one but theirs. Neighbor told police that the light was on at 3 a.m. Welcome in, Michelle. Could be. Could be their light was on at 3 a.m. I wouldn't doubt it. Especially since the flashlight video happened around 3:10, as far as what we know. Pretty dark in your house at 3 o'clock. I don't know about you guys, but my house is pretty dark at 3 o'clock in the morning. That light going back to the house all by itself sealed my opinion. Exactly. And the way that it moved quickly. Whereas when the house was when the flashlight was coming from the house, it was moving slowly as if it was carrying somebody. Right? It was moving very slowly. It took it a while when it went behind the gazebo to come out. I mean, it was moving slowly. And then all of a sudden, when it went back to the house, it was moving really quickly. Yes. Yes, many channels have aired it. And the only one that I will promote here to be the least biased would be Dolly Vision. I'm not going to promote anybody else's here because of the commentary surrounding it. I wouldn't want you guys to be subjected to that. And Laura, you think he was carried as well? Yes. Yes. Law enforcement even did thermal imaging to check the walls in the home because they never saw him walk out. The only thing that they didn't do was luminol. I had to think for a minute what the terminology was for it. Luminol, which is, cleaned up. Well, if you cleaned up blood, they'd be able to see it, right? They did not use luminol on the home. Gotcha. That house was super cleaned and with who knows what. Dogs can usually still pick up scent, but they kept going back in to look, and with more dogs. Yeah. Yeah. But they're not going to tell us, are they? They're not going to tell us what the dogs found. And actually, if the cadaver dogs did find something, until they know what happened, they're not going to tell us, are they? I just thought about that, guys. Interesting. Because law enforcement's going to keep everything really close to the vest. Yeah. Well, because they're putting it up for sale. They've got it for sale, Rosebud. I don't know if you knew that. But that's my other question. Not only about having their house professionally cleaned, but Katie left, which is more important than anything. Katie left that house a week after Sebastian went missing, right? So here's my question. Why can't she stand to be at that house? Because any other mother wouldn't leave that house. I mean, I wouldn't even want to go to the grocery store because I'd be afraid that the minute I left the house for 5 minutes, he'd come home and see I wasn't there. I'm serious. That would be the way I would think. Gotcha. I'm glad it's not members only because some did put it members only, which I think is awful. Tracy, do you think his friends will tell if they found Sebastian? No. I think he has some very loyal friends, my opinion. Michelle, who fixed it? Michelle. And where can I find it? Okay. According to Chris from the mop crew, who has spoken to the neighbors, law enforcement has multiple videos of the lights and eyewitnesses. And they had this information from day 3. So here's my question, guys, and to you, Michelle. Law enforcement has had this information. Why has there not been an arrest made? If this is actually true, Michelle, why hasn't an arrest been made? Yes. I agree with you, Lori. I agree with you 100%. They should have, and those are protocols now. Ever since the JonBenet Ramsey case, protocols have been put into place to treat every missing child case as a criminal investigation. What did they do? They let everybody and their brother run through that home. Cops were going through there. They didn't even question Seth when he walked up at 8:00. There was other family members there. Seth was able to go into Sebastian's room. I understand he's the father, but you don't allow that to happen. Law enforcement really blew it on this case, guys. Could Sebastian been taken from the garage and never went back in the house because he was hurt? He could have been, but they didn't see anybody leave the driveway, did they? Because the neighbor on the right-hand side, so let me okay. So it is showing that. All right. So this neighbor here has a security camera that faces this way from their garage. So it points right to the Proudfoot's garage. So that they would have been seen, in my opinion. Yeah, I realize that. But they also, even though Chris said they didn't, but they had people renting out the house as well. Yeah, it was very early on. She knew she wasn't coming back, Rosebud. Why no arrest? Yes. If that photo is real, if it's true, and like I said, I would love it to be true, guys. I would love it to be true. If it's true, then why hasn't there been an arrest made? Law enforcement has had this video since at least day 3. They have the technology to enhance it, to see who it is. Guys, if if it is who we think it is, carrying Sebastian away, right? They could be arrested for that. Why? Because they reported their child missing. So they're obstructing the law. They lied to law enforcement in an investigation. So they could be arrested for that. They haven't been. It's going to take more than the video. Yeah, they have to have a tight case. The video would be very damning if they're able to see exactly who it is, though, K9. The only vehicle seen leaving the home was Katie that morning. I'm sorry, Jackie. And remember what Jennifer C. said, everything you do as an investigator, ask yourself, will this hold up in front of a jury? Takes time to piece together. Yes. Yes. I agree. I think they're building the case. They're building the case. Definitely. I think they're definitely building the case, guys. And they're going to make sure it's solid, right? They're going to want to have all their ducks in a row. They definitely are. But this has been a really good conversation, guys. I had expected to get to some of our statement analysis tonight, but we didn't get there. That's all right. That's okay, because this was a good conversation. I think we looked at things honestly, and this case is frustrating, isn't it? Yeah, that's why no arrest yet. Exactly. I don't think that I don't think things are as clear in that video as what they're being made out to be. And they have to be clear to hold up in a court of law, guys. A jury is going to look at that blob picture and say, this is nothing. They're not going to convict anybody on that picture. We may think we know who it is, but I mean, think about it, guys. No one's going to look at that picture and be able to convict anybody off of it. Not the way it sits, right? Yes, I think the E's are going live tonight, guys. They're talking about a different case, which is interesting. But I am going to share our grannyism tonight. And that's kind of what we've been doing. We've been analyzing things tonight, right? Analysis is a critical starting point of strategic thinking, right? So we're looking at things, we're looking at that backyard picture, right? It's a critical starting point of strategic thinking, right? And Kenichi Ome, I think that might be how you say that, is the person who said that quote. So, but I liked that because I thought, yeah, that's what we've been doing, We're trying to look at this case, analyzing it, using strategic thinking, right? Without going way out there, right? Without going overboard and off the wall and, seeing things that aren't there, right? But truly looking at something the way it's supposed to be. You don't want me to go yet. Well, what do you want to talk about? Do you want me to show the video I was going to show? If you guys don't want me to go, we won't go. That's so funny. We can do that if you want to. It's up to you guys. I'm game for whatever. You're so funny. I love you guys. You're awesome. While we're throwing things out there, what do you want to do on our next members live, guys? Love you, K9. Thank you. What would you guys like to do on our next members live? It's going to be, I think, next Sunday, a week from today. Any thoughts? I'm happy to stay. You just got to talk to me, guys. Let's talk about something happy, okay? Something happy during our next members live or something happy now, or both. Well, tell me what you want to talk about that's happy. I keep waiting for you guys to write something in here. There's a delay, I think, between what I see and when you guys are typing. Next live. Okay. Sorry you had to wash your dishes. All right, Rosebud. Bye-bye. The ridiculous groundhog. Yeah. He saw his shadow today, didn't he? He saw his shadow today. That's not very happy, though, because that means 6 more weeks of winter. And I'm done with winter. I think I'm done with winter. Good night, Nutter. Good night, K9. So I think just have it hang out and talk about whatever. Well, that's what we'll do at our members live then. Who is the statement analysis you were going to show? Mike D. He's very intelligent, but I don't know what nationality he is. He has a if you were here last night, Lori, you might have heard him. But he talks about some of the statements. Let's see. That one's 11 minutes. He talks about some of the statements at the Proud Feet. I don't know. How do you pluralize Proudfoot? I don't know. But he talks about some of the Proud Feet statements, and he analyzes them critically, and he even says that he has to be objective when he's doing statement analysis, because he said, I'm not saying that some of what Chris Proudfoot says doesn't trigger me. He said it does. He said, so then what I do is the things that stand out to me, I write them down, and then I wait until I can calm down and look at things objectively. Who's Cheryl? Are you talking about Mike D, Cheryl? Proud Pete. Do I think so, yeah. Mike. Yes. I think that he is a professional. I think he doesn't come across that way sometimes because there's a language barrier, a bit of a language barrier. I don't think his first language is English. And so I think he has problems. Yeah, exactly. What about Katie's ring, Michelle? I'm curious. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, well, his most recent one, and maybe I'll leave you guys with this. His most recent one says that Katie is mastermind. And Chris just kind of follows her, does her bidding kind of thing. Hello, Netter. So yeah, which I think is interesting, right? I think it's really interesting. He feels that Katie is very intelligent, and that Chris is the one that, you know, that Katie's the one that we have to look at, which makes you wonder, right? I mean, there's a lot that we don't know about this case, guys. There's a lot. And I don't know, so maybe tomorrow night we'll start out with the statement analysis and, go from there. I'll just leave you with that little nugget that Katie's a mastermind, and think about it. Think about some of the things that she said. CP is so pervy. Yeah, he is. Laura, you've been saying the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I have looked at it all. I've looked at, was she um, a victim of DV from him? Is she the one person that can stand up to him? If you think about I don't know if any of you saw the trial for BHB, but Chris went to kiss her and she turned away. Not, whoops. Chris went to kiss Katie, not BHB. Oh, guys, please don't go out and say that I said I could just see the headlines now, right? Oh. But Chris went at BHB's trial. Chris went to kiss Katie and she turned away from him. So Jackie says, I think KP is way smarter than people give her credit for. Many people paint her as a docile damsel in distress. Yeah. Yeah, well, and wasn't she Chris's boss in the Navy? I'm thinking she was. I'd heard that somewhere. I don't know where. After 10 months of following this case, you hear things and you don't know where you heard them anymore, right? Yeah, and that's the other thing. She's trained in martial arts, right? She is. So, and I've seen people say that Katie couldn't have carried Sebastian out, 105 pounds, dead weight, blah, blah, blah. Guys, both of those two were in the military. Soldiers are trained to pick up other soldiers in combat. They know how to pick up dead weight. So no one could ever convince me that either one of those two couldn't have carried Sebastian out of the house because of that fact. Not only that, martial arts. I mean, so yeah, I'm beginning to see that as well. At first, I thought she was docile. I thought maybe she had been a victim of abuse by him, but I don't believe that anymore. I am really starting to think that she rules the roost, that she wears the pants in that relationship. They're also trained in damage control. Yes, they are. So, the one thing I will say about her, though, is that she can't keep her stories straight. She's not a good liar or storyteller. That's why the few interviews that she did were not consistent, and why Chris had to become her spokesperson. 4:00 tomorrow, Central Time, Nutter. We changed our time to 4:00 now. I'm trying to make sure I'm not competing with so many of the bigger people out there. I don't want them to think I'm trying to hurt them or anything like that, because that's not who I am. Yeah, exactly, Lori. You know she will screw it up. And the one time he coughed and then she stopped mid-sentence. Yeah, it was so obvious. It was sickening. Really obvious, and people wonder why we say these things, right? They're their own worst enemy. If you look at behavior analysis, statement analysis of Seth, behavior analysis, statement analysis of Chris and Katie, what do you have? Good night, Jackie O. Good to see you. And so we are going to call it a night, okay? And we'll see you tomorrow at 4 Central Time live. We'll go over the statement analysis. And if you're up and about at 8:00 in the morning, catch my good morning videos. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.